Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
what job is useless? I took a job scheduling residential HVAC technicians for a mid-sized company after a few years of working in the field. A few months in, the company ended its residential program to focus on commercial. Thing is, they already had commercial schedulers. My boss told me she'd find me a new role, but then she took another job elsewhere and left. I stayed as a scheduler with no one to schedule in a department that no longer existed. No one in the office seemed to realize this, and for over half a decade, I would show up, make friendly conversation in the break room while making my coffee, and then literally just did nothing the rest of the day. Having left a stressful job, it was glorious. Occasionally someone would ask me an HVAC or system-related question over email. And that was it. I made sure everyone liked me by bringing in bagels every Monday and donuts every Friday. Then COVID happened and now I was doing nothing at home. When I learned the company was being sold, I figured I wouldn't tempt fate anymore and applied elsewhere. My department head gave a glowing recommendation, having no idea what I even did but knowing I was friendly and helped him jump his car a few times. TLDR, the department I was adminning was downsized, but they forgot about me and I essentially took a 6-year paid vacation. This reminds me of some Reddit post I read a while back where something similar happened to someone else. They basically broke their leg or something like that. The company had a little remote office, like basic one room or something, close to this guy's home. The company offered for the guy to work there until his leg was healed. Guy is working there when his whole department gets shuttered. Almost the whole department, including his department head and managers, all get laid off or transferred. The op in the whole thing basically got forgotten about. And eventually, he stops getting work sent his way. It got to the point where the guy was setting up his console in this office and playing video games. Or his girlfriend was showing up, and they would have sex. I think he eventually realized it was best if he did something productive and used the time to take online classes so he could get another degree or whatever. The dude finally finished his degree and applied for a well-paying job at another company. It was finally when he submitted his 2 weeks notice that someone higher up finally realized something was fishy. They were asking him what exactly he did for the company. And when they eventually started piecing together what kind of happened, they were threatening to sue him for scamming the company. The whole thing was crazy. Edit. I found the full story for anyone interested. I found someone like this once by accident. I was coding a program that would pull via API from the main HR system of our parent Fortune 500 Solus Corp to auto-populate people into role groups based on their manager and their manager's cost center. This was for ease of onboarding of new people so they would be placed in a role group that gave them the same generic baseline permissions and application access as all the other people in their same group. During the testing I ran into a weird error where there was someone who was his own manager which threw a bunch of errors. I started doing some research, and he was on the integration team from when our division was an acquisition, and then after the migration he was made his own manager and never reassigned. The more I dug around the more I realized that no one knew this guy or what he did. He worked 100% remote in a seaside town in California. He had no meetings on his calendar except for the same corporate ones everyone had and vague generic meetings that only had him in them. I looked on his LinkedIn and Facebook which were just filled with pictures of him surfing, hiking, etc. We had a record of log-ons and log-offs for all users and he logged on every day at exactly 8 a.m. his time and logged off at 5 p.m. on the dot. He was always set to busy status in the internal messaging app despite not having any real meetings. I had a strong feeling that he was living the dream, getting paid a good salary, but spending his time surfing and enjoying his life lost in the system. After gathering all this information I had a bit of a moral quandary. On one hand, as a dutiful sysadmin I should probably report this to HR and let them investigate. On the other hand, I really did not care that much about the Solus Corp I was working for, and who am I to ruin his gig? He was living the dream, and his salary is at best a rounding error for Solus Corp. In the end I just built an exception into the code to just skip any users that are their own managers and let him keep his gig. I think about him every now and then, and I hope he is doing okay. Similar, but different story happened to my company. It's similar in that someone forgot. We had an office somewhere, I think it was in Florida or something. Anyway, we have offices everywhere and the decision was made to lay everyone off at this office and close it. So one day, everyone is told what happened and 2 weeks later people say their goodbyes and go home. Lights are left on, computers are running, printers are on. Just like you left for the day, but you don't come back. A year later, an accountant realizes that even though the office was closed, we were still paying rent and utilities on this building because everyone in that office was laid off, including the facilities department, and everyone there just assumed someone else was in charge of shutting down the office. Idiots. Whoever made the decision to shut the office but not follow up. Bathroom attendants. I don't need somebody in there pulling paper towels out the dispenser just to hand it to me and compel me to tip them. I've been to a place where the attendant uses a lint roller on you, sprays you with some perfume, and has a little repair kit for clothes, Mother's Day cards and all kinds of trinkets. I was not prepared to be there and showed up with a Rolling Stones shirt and dirty jeans. Everyone was dressed nice. I suspect they let me in because they thought I was one of those rich people so unaware of societal rules that they dress kinda crappy. I was actually just poor. My mom worked at an upscaled luggage store in high school. She always says that the richest people who ever came in there were the ones wearing blue jeans, sneakers and cowboy hats. Bathroom attendants. I don't need somebody in there pulling paper towels out the dispenser just to hand it to me and compel me to tip them. I never saw this until I was visiting Ireland a few years back. And man, was it **ing annoying. It's bad enough there's a guy standing at the sinks watching you have a leak. But then he wants €1 or €2 for handing you a towel to dry your hands. Where the hell in Ireland were ya lad? Never seen it.